Well, dozens of court cases across America could impact or even decide the result of the 2024 presidential election. We are following those lawsuits and challenges. And with the help of our TEGNA sister stations around the country, Kyle Clark has a story for us this morning.
Dozens of election-related lawsuits in key states will determine who is able to vote, how they vote, and how those votes will be counted. Broadly speaking, Republicans and conservative groups have been suing to limit voters' eligibility, while Democrats and liberal groups have gotten involved in lawsuits to protect voters' eligibility. Our reporters around the country are watching closely.
I'm Bram Resnick at the Arizona State Capitol. We've tracked down 11 voting-related lawsuits over the last 10 months, all but one of them filed by Republicans or their allies. One ruling to watch as the election unfolds: a judge struck down safeguards against intimidation at the polls. During the 2022 election, people with video cameras recorded voters at ballot drop boxes, and armed men were on patrol. That will be allowed.
Here in Pennsylvania, 20 lawsuits have been filed related to the 2024 election. About half of those were filed by voters themselves or nonpartisan organizations. The other half, though, were filed overwhelmingly by Republicans. Some question the state's process for counting mail-in ballots. Others question individual counties about how they test electronic voting machines.
I'm Chris Arabsky at the St. Croix County Courthouse in Wisconsin. We found 14 election-related lawsuits filed in Wisconsin this year. Half of them filed in the last 6 weeks. 11 cases were brought up by Republican groups or their allies. The rest appear nonpartisan in nature. Those lawsuits comprise concerns over not hiring enough Republican election inspectors to challenging the accuracy of the voter rolls. The biggest controversy, though, has been over absentee ballots and drop boxes. 2 years ago, a conservative majority in the state Supreme Court banned the use of most drop boxes in this state. But this summer, a new liberal majority in the High Court overturned its own ruling allowing these for the general election, an election in which President Biden won by fewer than 21,000 votes in 2020.
Here in Georgia, at least 21 election-related lawsuits have been filed since the beginning of the year. Many of them are still working their way through the court system, and most of the ones that have reached final judgment at the trial court level, they are now subject to appeal. One of the biggest cases we've been following, a challenge to a series of newly passed election rules passed by the conservative majority on the state election board. But recently, a Fulton County judge struck down those rules, including one that would have required a hand count of ballots. And when the state Supreme Court had a chance to intervene, it declined, meaning that even though the appeals process continues in this case, it is unlikely those rules will be in place on Election Day.
Here in Michigan, our peninsulas may be connected, but our politics couldn't be more divided. Here at 13 on Your Side, we identified at least 9 different election-related lawsuits in the lead-up to November. A couple of those brought by liberal-oriented organizations, but the majority brought by the Republican National Committee, who have signaled these have been meant to uphold election law and instill election integrity. Some have already been dismissed in the courts, but some are still ongoing, including one that alleges that the state government overstepped their authority in setting up voter registration sites in VA hospitals and offices of the Small Business Administration.
I'm Ben Thompson in Charlotte. Here in North Carolina, our election lawsuits are split right down the middle. 5 conservative, 5 liberal, most still working their way through our legal system. Just days ago, though, a judge ruled against Republican challenges of certain overseas ballots, saying there was no obvious fraud involved.
Not all of these cases will be resolved by Election Day, and certainly there will be fresh challenges, especially in swing states. We'll continue to track these cases closely as they impact Americans' right to vote and have that vote counted. In Denver, I'm Kyle Clark.
Well, be sure to join us Tuesday on Election Night. We'll have live stream coverage of the race for the White House, Georgia results, plus county-by-county analysis starting at 7 p.m. on 11 Alive Plus. You can download it for free by searching 11 Alive on your streaming device.